Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be taking you to the pattern over the next couple of weeks here. We're going to be seeing a big time pattern change here where we'll see uh, and also an active pattern across portions of the eastern United States. Now, before I get started, I do apologize for not uploading anything yesterday. I was supposed to upload a video on my phone that stored by caught about 2 weeks ago last night, but I forgot to upload it. So today, you guys were able to see two videos to get uploaded today. And today, we're going to be talking about the pattern change here on this video. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the Climate Prediction Center's outlook here. And here's the 6 to 10 day outlook here. Now, keep in mind, it seems like this pattern here will be staying pretty consistent for the rest of August here at this point. And even into September, a good chunk of September, however, which we'll take a look to that in just a moment. But you can tell here, the western United States looking to be pretty warm and dry, which they definitely do need a break. They have wildfires, they definitely need some rain, and cooler weather, really. And meanwhile, across pretty much the entire eastern United States is pretty warm as well, even across several Texas there. And you can see here cooler than normal conditions of, we'll say, present across the Northern Plains, the Midwest, portions of the Great Lakes, the Lower Ohio Valley, the Severed Plain, portions of the Central and Severed Plains, as well in the Mid-Mississippi Valley as well. So that's their temperature outlook there. Let's take a look to their precipitation outlook here. This is 6 to 10 days here. And keep in mind, this is from Thursday on August the 3rd to Monday, August 7th of next week. So next Monday, I should say, on that. Meeks tell here, I'm at the eastern United States looking to be a little bit wetter than normal. You also got another wetter than normal area across far southern Texas. Meanwhile, across both of the Rockies and the Plains, looking to be pretty dry, even across the Northwest. Although there is some good news there for California and Nevada, and even southern Oregon here. Doesn't look to be really any dry conditions, at least for the Climate Prediction Center from on the 6 to 10 day outlook here. So that's some good news there. There may be some rain coming for you guys that really do need that. Now let's move on to 8 to 14 days. Now the cold air really starts to get into the central, to even start moving into the eastern United States, but still a pretty similar setup here. The western United States still looking to be warm even across the east coast there as well. You can see here how that cold air is really starting to expand uh, southward and eastward with time there. That dark blue area is a 70 to 80% chance there for below normal temperatures, which is a pretty decent percentage there as well. And also keep in mind the areas that are not highlighted, that's about pretty much equal chances there as well. Keep in mind of that. Here's 8 to 14 outlook, 8 to 14 day outlook. Still very similar, but the dry air started to expand eastward with time. So yeah, on the east coast, still looking to be wet, and uh, in the Rockies, the plains, in the Northwest, still looking to be dry. So really, summertime weather across the northwestern United States, pretty much. There's one even across, really in general, the western United States there. So let's take a look into some models here. Now we're going to take a look at CFS. Now this is days 1 through 7 here. It's warm across a good chunk of the eastern United States, even across portions of Texas and eventually the western United States. You got cooler than normal conditions across the central and northern plains. Things start to shift in the 8 to 14 days here. Cold air really starts to become pretty I don't know what word to use there, but there's going to be a lot of cold air into some of these regions here, expanding southward with time, like across portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, and eventually into Kentucky. But in general, the Midwest, the Plains, portions of the Great Lakes, the Lower Ohio Valley, and the Tennessee Valley could be seeing cooler than normal conditions. Meanwhile, the West is looking to be fairly warm there as well. And that's And that still continues throughout. Now, this is mid September, days 15 to 21. Very similar pattern there. And I even kind of continues into late September, but that will likely change there. But this is definitely an indication here that for September here, a good chunk of the central and eastern United States is looking to be cooler than normal. Meanwhile, the west is still looking to be hot and dry there, unfortunately. And let's take a look at precipitation. You can see here pretty much two-thirds of the United States is either average or below average for precipitation. And the East Coast is looking to be wetter than normal. Now, some good news with the setup here is when you have a trough across portions of the eastern United States, the Gulf Coast states won't really, well, you won't see much of any of tropical systems in the Gulf. However, if you go along the East Coast here, you can see are pretty above normal precipitation, which it does indicate there could be a lot of rain in these regions here, so that could mean multiple low pressure systems and potentially some tropical systems along the East Coast. So that'd be definitely something to watch there. And it's kind of similar, although it actually kind of puts off the East Coast there, but you can see dry air really takes over most of the country here. And monsoon season might be coming across the four corner states there as well in the days 15 to 21. And still kind of persistent here. Maybe another pattern change will be coming across the western United States where they actually start to cool down and become a little bit wetter, which I think it kind of makes sense there. And here's days 1 through 7, pretty wet across a good chunk of the central and eastern United States there. And the tropics are quiet. It seems to be quiet during that time period as well. So now that's kind of a very long range model. Let's take a look to medium range models. We'll take a look to the GFS, the Euro, and perhaps the Canadian as well. So we're going to start off with the GFS here. So you're going to have a pretty active pattern across Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, and even southeastern Kansas. And those areas could be seeing quite a bit of rain over the next few days this week. Potentially maybe too much rain for some of those regions that cause some flash flooding issues. And those are areas that we could also see some severe weather, which we'll watch it very closely. Here's cold front number 1 here. And look what you see right up there in Canada, your 540 line. That's an average up in the atmosphere at the freezing mark. That's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. You got a pretty strong cold front coming in. You got a pretty strong low pressure system deepening. So your cold front only makes it across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, which it brings up pretty cool temperatures there. So that's kind of cold front number 1, which actually kind of extends. It actually makes it to the northeast about as far south as the Dixie Alley here. You got a kind of a strong high pressure system there, 1022 there. So a pretty decent high pressure system right there. And it'll start to move all to the east here, and then here's September 6th. You get another system here, and it's also a strong low pressure system. Very similar to the last one here. You got another strong cold front, and look at that. Snow is showing up across portions of Quebec. Quebec. Oh man. There. And your 540 line actually extends into the portions of the United States. And even, I forgot, I think this is 534 line right here. Even gets down into the United States, and some snow flurries kind of mix into Minnesota now. This is 10 days out. This will likely change. And you can see where your cold front is. Basically, your entire front extends anywhere from like northern Idaho, western Montana, all the way down through the eastern Rockies, eventually going through Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, and then moving up to the East Coast. So this is basically all of this here is an entire trough here, and that's a pretty strong trough when you think about it. And it continues to move south, and then you may have another system that might develop there. And with a setup like this here, this is a winter type of setup here. When you get a low pressure system to develop somewhere near the Appalachian Mountains and eventually going up the East Coast. And now, if this was the winter time, this could be a pretty big winter storm for the Northeast, but this is September, so you won't really get a winter storm, but definitely pretty well below normal temperatures there for sure for some of those regions in there. But and keep in mind, let gonna let you guys know that the GFS has been pretty consistent with multiple strong troughs that have been moving in from the from the northern plains into the eastern United States. So there'd be definitely something to really watch for there. And let's take a look to European model. Now we're going to look into a kind of a different view here. This is temperature anomalies here. So this is kind of go by your averages here. So I believe this is system number 1 right here. Here comes a front right here. You got temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees below normal around that time frame. That front does pass through uh, Wednesday afternoon, so your front is right here. You got temperatures behind it, like down across Texas and Oklahoma, about 15 degrees below normal, which is pretty below normal this time of year. Meanwhile, the west is just hot, with temperatures about 25 degrees above normal. That's pretty well above normal there as well. Now, if we kind of continue on, you got another front comes through, but generally, really below normal temperatures, anywhere from like 3 to 7 degrees below normal for some of those regions in there. Now, if we kind of go into towards the 10-day time frame, looky here. Now, this is like the GFS was showing, but extremely warm temperatures, although in the mountains there, I mean, nearly 35 degrees above normal. That's very warm for the mountains. But meanwhile, across the northern plains, the central plains, even down in the southern plains, this is a strong cold front bringing in temperatures 20 degrees below normal. So that's well below normal temperatures there across the northern plains. And that's like the GFS was showing. So if we kind of move back here for 10 days out, here's your same trough here. And you got a 534 line right there. And that's some pretty chilly temperatures there. If we kind of compare it between the two here with actual temperatures, now this is kind of early afternoon. You can see very chilly temperatures. Actually, late morning, I should say, and early afternoon. Look across Wisconsin, 35 degrees. There's a freezing mark across far northeastern Minnesota, right in there. So that's a serious cold air blast. You can see the highs, even across Tennessee here, could not even make it out the 60s. And that's also a pretty strong front because the northern half of Alabama maybe actually be low to mid 70s. Meanwhile, the southern part of Alabama actually be in the mid 90s. That's actually a kind of crazy temperature change for a state right there. And it looks like it gets even colder by this around this time frame here, September 9th of Wednesday morning, late morning. You got temperatures freezing in North Dakota, so this is kind of an indication here that fall is trying to come in early, but you never know what's going to happen in October or November around this time, which I'll definitely update my fall forecast very soon because of this here that's coming up here. Now, one of the big players I do believe that's kind of leading to this pattern here is your PNA. Now, this is across the Northern Pacific here now, and this is also what's been going on for the weather across the western United States. So if we click here, when you have a positive PNA, which is at a moderate stage, usually the west will be pretty warm, and it also leads to colder air to move in the eastern United States. So that's kind of one of those big players there, and you can see the forecast is expected to die down, but not getting to below zero, and kind of more of a neutral PNA here. But when you get much later into mid-September, you got members anywhere from a 2 to a -1. So, but we'll watch the trends on that very closely there as well. But PNA is one of the big players causing all this. If we move into the Arctic Oscillation, we're actually in the negatives here. We're actually below a -1, which is this is going to lead to some cold air shots to the eastern United States. However, we do get back around normal, but still around normal. You still get troughs to move in across portions of the United States here. And when you add a P and A, most of your cold air will be going in across the central and eastern United States here. So your AO is kind of helping bring some of that cold air down, but not a uh, but it's not a terrible thing here for any fall lovers out there, stuff like that. I mean, around a neutral AO, it's not really a bad thing at all. If you really want some actual really cold air, you need to break it down a little bit further down to the negatives. So, but still in a neutral phase here for an AL, some of the cold air will still come down to portions of the United States there as well. So that's also one of the causes of the pattern we're going to be seeing there um, as well. But we won't take a look into the AAO or the NAO because those are not really big players at this point here. But in general, overall, even into September here, which I'll be making a forecast on that, I believe uh, Tuesday of next week. So stay tuned for that there, and also may make a fall forecast by that time frame. But we'll see about that. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.